They called him a unicorn.
Yeah, the unicorn.
Definitely a unicorn athlete.
You might want to compare him to LeBron James.
In the 43 years that you have been doing the draft for ESPN, this is the best tight end you've ever seen?
No doubt, no doubt.
He became the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. And somehow, everything after that has been confusing.
What the is going on with Kyle Pitts?
On this channel, we stripped him of his nickname, also Unicorn.
Is it time for us all to admit collectively, he is a bust?
So how does a unicorn become one of the most confusing stories in football? To answer that question, we gotta go back to Philadelphia, where Kyle Pitts was already struggling to find his role.
You're a quarterback. You wanted to play tight end. You were told no.
Once I was told no, it kind of made me grind harder. I keep playing those words, you're not supposed to be here, you won't make it here. It's always going to fuel me until the day I die.
So he made a tough decision, and he switched schools.
The switch was everything because I wasn't comfortable at quarterback. So when I got to tight end, it was a dream come true. I could score. When I score, the whole crowd go crazy, so that was something in high school I wanted to do.
Kyle Pitts was now a 4-star recruit, and he took his talents to the University of Florida. The Gators believed in Pitts' potential. He was barely used as a freshman, but his sophomore season,
He grew into his tight end body, and then that's when it became fun. Who are they going to put on him? You put a corner or a nickel on him, he's going to blow those guys off the ball.
Caught! Kyle Pitts got a foot down.
Going into his junior year, the Gators lost a lot of their veteran weapons, so Pitts had to step up. And in the very first game against Ole Miss, he exploded.
Kyle Pitts, first Gators touchdown of the season. Kyle Pitts scores it. Here is Pitts. Run, young man, run. Touchdown, Kyle Pitts.
It's going to be a scary season.
It was that game against Ole Miss when I scored 4 times. I said, I think I might actually be ready for this next level.
He wasn't a misfit anymore. He was a unicorn. He became a nightmare matchup, a puzzle defenses couldn't solve until week 10, when things got messy.
Fires deep middle. Oh my goodness, Pitts didn't make the catch, and we're going to have what looks like maybe a targeting call on seam. Doesn't even know where his helmet is right now. I don't know think.
If he knows where he is right now.
And he's headed to the locker room.
He missed the next 2 games with a concussion, but he was ready to dominate again because they faced Kentucky, and linebacker J.J. Weaver had some interesting words for the unicorn. He stated, "Kyle Pitts is most definitely gonna see me this week. He's a great player. He's gonna get up and jump, but he's never had J.J. Weaver on him before."
To Trask, throws the ball down the field for Pitts. In his first game back after injury, he just went 56 yards off for Pitts. He's got it. Kyle Pitts had just gone for the hat trick in his first game back in 3 weeks.
I've been away, but I'm back.
And he even posted a pic on Instagram where he tagged J.J. Weaver. Kyle Pitts was ready for the next level, so he declared for the NFL draft.
Kyle has stamped his legacy at the University of Florida, not only as college football's best tight end, but also as one of the best to ever don the orange and blue.
And with no combine that year, his pro day became a must-watch.
The buzz is justified. I've spoken to numerous NFL execs who said Kyle Pitts might be the very best player in this entire draft, regardless of position. When I was standing next to a few scouts as Pitts ran his 40 time in that 4.45 range, there was a visceral reaction like, wow, this guy is nearly 250 pounds, nearly 6'6", with a nearly 84-inch wingspan doing all this.
You might want to compare him to LeBron James. We just don't see athletes like this in college football.
I said he would be the #1 receiver in this draft, and certainly a guy that is the best tight end I've ever graded in 43 years, and that's not a surprise.
It was clear. If you want Kyle Pitts, you better have a top 5 pick.
To top 5 is something that no one can ever take from me. If it happens, it'll just be tears of joy and full of excitement.
Your coach called you the unicorn. So inside your label, you'll see we have the unicorn 1-on-1.
Kyle Pitts looks sharp. For me, I like more of a comfy vibe, and that's why I wear Fury. They make athletic clothing, but it's really clean and minimalistic, which I really like, and that's why I wear it basically all the time. Obviously, I wear it in the gym, but also when I go for walks or when I'm just working from home. So here we have the Sunday Performance Jogger. What makes them so comfortable is the stretch, super soft, and I really appreciate the zip lockers that they come with. You can basically rock this anywhere. However, my favorite is the Strato Tech Tee long sleeve. It's super lightweight and it's not too tight, which I really love with these long sleeves because it kind of gives you that athletic look, but at the same time it's very comfortable and it's not too much, you know what I mean? Because of that stretchiness. Give it a try. I really recommend. Make sure you sign up for the email list because you'll get 20% off your first order. There's also a link in my description, so make sure you check it out. Big shout out to Fury for sponsoring this video. I've been following them for a while and I really like wearing their stuff, so thank you for the collab. Now let's go back to the NFL Draft 2021.
The 2021 NFL Draft is now officially open.
So quarterback going off the board. That's the first time this century that's happened.
So at pick 4, the board was absolutely stacked. Jamar Chase, Pat Surtain, Penei Sewell, Micah Parsons, and the Unicorn.
Hello?
Kyle Pitts, here in Atlanta. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
You want to be a Falcon?
Yes, sir. Going to Atlanta.
With the 4th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida.
He was the first non-quarterback off the board. But more importantly, at 20 years old, the Falcons made him the highest drafted tight end in NFL history.
He is the safest pick. At number 4, you want to hit on that pick, and they're going to hit with Kyle Pitts for sure.
Certainly excited when it was Kyle, and fired up that he was going to be a part of our building.
The Falcons had their guy, and they believed in him.
Now official, the Julio Jones era in Atlanta is over.
Julio Jones has been traded from the Atlanta Falcons to the Tennessee Titans.
Matt Ryan lost his favorite target, and suddenly, all eyes were on Kyle Pitts, but the rookie didn't flinch.
He's got his receiver, that's the tight end. Corner of the end zone, touchdown. The rookie Kyle Pitts. And almost to Kyle Pitts with a one-arm grab that. Ryan, oh, what a catch.
All of a sudden the confidence, and that's the biggest thing. We all know who Kyle Pitts is.
Breaks another at midfield, and Pitts down the sideline. Tremendous speed.
Number 8. Yeah. Jesus. Stay healthy, man. You're going to be a hell of a player. You already know that, though. You already know that.
By the end of the season, Kyle Pitts made history. He broke Tony Gonzalez's franchise record for receiving yards by a tight end and became only the second tight end ever to have a 1,000-yard rookie season. Nobody had done it since 1961.
You got first season, first Pro Bowl, man. That's huge, man. It got to feel good.
It definitely feels good. That was one of the accolades I wanted to reach.
It looked like the Falcons landed a superstar. But going into his second year, things took a different turn.
The city of Atlanta saying goodbye to one of its all-time sports greats. Today, the Matt Ryan era in Atlanta has officially come to an end. The Falcons are trading a longtime quarterback Matt Ryan to the Indianapolis Colts.
Pitts had to start over with a new quarterback, Marcus Mariota, and his targets dropped significantly.
You spent the 4th overall pick of the 2021 draft on this guy. You didn't take Jamar Chase, you didn't take Jalen Waddle, you didn't take Micah Parsons. You spent it on Kyle Pitts to do what?
At the same time, Pitts is dealing with a hamstring issue, and not performing on the field only made it harder. Through 10 games, he just had 356 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not what you expected from your 4th overall pick. But that wasn't even the worst part.
Fake to Patterson, zips a throw for Kyle Pitts. Anticipated. Pitts got hit hard by Eddie Jackson, and he's slow to get up. Falcons fans hold their breath.
Kyle Pitts, their standout tight end, and really one of the bright young players in football, is expected to be out indefinitely, Andrew, with a torn MCL.
Just like that, his second season was over, and the Unicorn was forgotten.
He has been underutilized in this offense because you had a bad offensive line, question marks at quarterback, and no defense. So he's been underutilized, and you've burned through 2 years of his career before you can even think of starting to untap the full potential of Kyle Pitts.
By 2023, the pressure was real because the 2021 draft class turned out insane. Stars everywhere, but Pitts was struggling. And to make things more complicated, head coach Arthur Smith brought in an old friend.
The Patriots are trading tight end Jonnu Smith to the Falcons.
If you're not familiar, he played for Arthur Smith when he was with the Titans.
Me and Art would be getting back together. My energy just went through the roof.
Pitts already was struggling with targets, and now he had to share them with another tight end. And that wasn't the only change. The Falcons had a new quarterback again, Desmond Ridder. But despite that, Kyle Pitts was ready to go.
Do you feel like you're ready to have a big breakout season?
100%. That's the goal this year.
36-yard line on first down. Ridder hit as he got rid of the football, and it is picked off. Intercepted by Rasul Douglas.
Ridder on the slant, intercepted!
In the first 8 games of the season, the offense struggled, and Kyle Pitts only had 1 touchdown. So the Falcons made another change. Ridder was benched, And they brought in another quarterback, Taylor Heineke, who immediately helped his tight end have a huge game.
A quick throw. Smith! Jonnu Smith! He's taking it all the way in for a Falcon touchdown!
The rest of the season was more of the same. Split targets in a 2 tight end formation, and ultimately, another extremely disappointing season. Now 3 years into his career, the unicorn was a misfit again, so fans were frustrated, and hashtag Free Kyle Pitts became a thing.
It's been a frustrating couple of years for Kyle. He had the injury 2 years ago, and then he had to fight through the mental part of the injury, and then maybe not being used to the efficiency that they needed to use him at. Use him as the kind of weapon he could potentially be.
Going into 2024, Arthur Smith was fired, and the Falcons had a fresh start.
The Falcons have hired Raheem Morris.
Let's shake this crowd up, man. Let's have some fun.
We are definitely in the quarterback hunting business.
Here's your breaking news. Kirk Cousins is going to the Atlanta Falcons.
In a new era with Kyle Pitts, who still hasn't been able to prove if he's a guy or not, are the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins playoff bond.
Atlanta signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million contract. There were no more quarterback questions, and Raheem Morris was ready to revive the unicorn.
He didn't have the year that he wanted to have last year. Whatever it was, whether it be injury, whether it's not the right space, not the nice time for him, we got to get that guy back to what he was and what he's been and what he's capable of being.
The stage seemed set, but in the draft, the Falcons shocked the world.
The Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr., quarterback, Washington.
That's surprising. Wow. That's a slinger right there, man. This is a good one. I like this one.
Yeah, are you shocked as I am?
I'm very shocked.
Now with 2 elite quarterbacks, there were no more doubts about Pitt's circumstances. This was going to be his year.
I think Kyle Pitts is in for a big season. Healthy, new lease on life, a quarterback that can get him the ball.
The Falcons named Cousins the starting quarterback, but the problems didn't disappear. And in week 4 against the Saints, it hit a new low. The Falcons won the game, but for the first time in his career, Kyle Pitts finished with 0 catches. Raheem Morris was asked about it, and he responded, "Stats are for losers." And the fan base was getting frustrated.
You watch a game like yesterday and you say to yourself, well, man, we could have got this kind of production from a 5th round tight end, a 6th round tight end. Hell, we probably could have even got an undrafted free agent to give us the same type of production.
After that game, his production slightly increased, and there was a spark, a 2-touchdown game versus the Bucs. And the Falcons found a little momentum that took them to 6-3 until the season took a hard turn.
Intercepted, this could go all the way. And Cousins to the air. Intercepted. Cousins up the middle. Throws end zone. Intercepted.
Cousins threw 4 interceptions, and Pitts had another 0-catch game. So Atlanta decided it was time for change and benched Cousins for the rookie, Michael Penix Jr. He brought new energy, and he couldn't wait to throw to his tight end.
Penix looking, throws, juggled, and it's tipped and intercepted!
This was the 5th quarterback Pitts had played with since Matt Ryan left, and it resulted in another mediocre season. So people were ready to give up. And it wasn't just the fans.
What's going on with Kyle Pitts right now? Like some talk that he could be traded. What do you know?
Atlanta seems to be open to the possibility of trading Kyle Pitts at this point. They won't force the issue, but as one source told me, if there's a good enough offer, this will probably get done.
In 2025, Pitts had to get it right. It was the last year of his contract, and he had a final season to show he's the unicorn they drafted. Penix was a starting quarterback.
This is my first year going into a quarterback I played with previously.
Okay.
So this will be the first time. So it's been tough, it's been different. I'm excited for Mike.
He started the season well with a big game in week 4 against the Washington Commanders.
Makes the connection with Pitts.
So athletic, you see the size.
Penix fake it, flip it, catch made, Pitts, touchdown, Falcons! Kyle Pitts went to the Pro Bowl in his rookie year. They have been waiting for that kind of production consistently since.
He's been doing a great job all season, and it's just nice to see his work from the offseason, his work from, training camp, his work that he's put in since he's been here come to life.
But like usual, the lows always seem to follow.
You know what, Falcon fans? I'm going to agree with y'all on this one. I'm done with Kyle Pitts. This guy's a sack of shit with butterfingers. 6'6" for no reason. You sack.
If you're a Falcons fan, you know what I'm about to say is true. Kyle Pitts Sr. dropping too many passes, Ocho. He just, I don't know what it is. He's supposed to be Brock Bowers. He's supposed to be Trent McBride. That's what he's supposed to be.
Later that season, Penix ended up getting hurt, so Atlanta brought back the veteran, Kirk Cousins. And this time, something finally clicked.
Cousins looking for Pitts, and he drops it in. What a catch by Kyle Pitts.
In Week 15, they faced the Bucs, who were fighting for a playoff spot, and the unicorn finally erupted.
Cousins over the middle, wide open, and there into the end zone goes Kyle Pitts for the touchdown. Open! He's got Pitts. Cuts to the inside. Cousins going that way again. He's got it. Touchdown.
Watch the hesitation. Just hesitate. Wait. Corner's cleared. Now there's a nice opening right there.
Cousins goes the other way. Pitts. They say touchdown. What a night for Kyle Pitts.
A good game for that young man last night, you know.
Pretty decent, 166, 3 touchdowns.
When you say, hey man, we're gonna take you 4th overall, that's
Right.
what you want right there.
That game made everything so much more complicated, because now the Falcons have a difficult choice to make. Kyle Pitts is still only 25 years old, and maybe finding the best form of his career. They fired Raheem Morris and brought in Kevin Stefanski, who is a great offensive mind, which leaves one big question. Will they sign Kyle Pitts to a new contract or let him walk in free agency and let somebody else unlock the unicorn?